What's up, comrades? Nightwolf here, and welcome. Sorry, need to adjust the mic. My apologies. Welcome to another super recap, where I recap a couple of stories that came out, or things I like to discuss that are comic book or nerd related. So, without further ado, let's get on into it, shall we? I really need a catchphrase or something. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Let's go. One of the first things I'd like to talk about is, hey, something really cool and fun recently came out today. And by the time you see this video, it probably would have been a day or so ago. The Black Panther trailer came out, and I gotta tell you, I wasn't wowed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was just whelmed, I guess. I mean, it was kind of cool, kind of interesting, but didn't really grab my attention like, hey, when this movie comes out, you should be excited. I don't know why, but it could just be the oversaturation of superheroes in general in the market. I'm not really sure, but yeah, wasn't exciting, but I'll leave a link down below if you missed it. Please feel free to go and watch it. Now let's jump into the first topic I wanted to cover today, and of course the first topic today is that somebody ripped up a copy of Iceman? Issue 1? Now, this was more personal because it's within our own comic book related community here on YouTube, but I kind of felt like discussing it because I thought that a couple of people were being genuine idiots about it. Now, the first thing that you should know is that Diversity in Comics, a YouTube channel, which will be linked down below with the video where he ripped both literally and figuratively the issue 1 of Iceman. And there were some people who were complaining on Twitter about this that I managed to locate, and for some reason, I thought it was incredibly stupid. Because, for one, this is private property. Once you buy a comic book, I will hold a comic book next to the mic right now. You hear that? That's a Spider-Man comic. An old one, but there it is. When you buy a comic book, once you leave the store and you've paid your money for it, it's yours. It's private property. It doesn't matter if you rip it or not, or if you want to burn it, do whatever. If you didn't like it, that's completely fine. But some people losing their minds over it. They're complaining, making snide comments like, oh, it took him 14 minutes to tear up a comic book. Lol, that's funny. I'm pausing for dramatic effect. Is it working? I don't know. You can't see my face. But on a side note to that, it really is a very weird thing to complain about. People who said that they just skimmed the video until he actually ripped the book, they didn't bother to even look at the context of the video, find out that the whole literal and figuratively was actually true. He judged the comic book. He reviewed it, in a sense. Granted, it doesn't say comic book review, but it is, in a sense, a review and why it was a bad book. And this isn't the first time he's torn a comic book. He's done it multiple times. To bad comic books, to bad writing, to bad art. It's not like this is a new thing, for him anyway. I mean, I was half tempted to not really burn my copy of All New Guardians of the Galaxy #1, but I kind of considered, ripping it in half at one point. I think it's just kind of weird that everyone's complaining about this. Basically, I think what I'm trying to get at is, if you buy a comic book or you buy anything and you want to wreck it, destroy it, do whatever you want, go for it. It is your property once you pay for it. The company will still make its money. This is true, but I would like to say that this is a public service that Diversity in Comics is doing. The man's doing a public service. He's saving at least over 22,000 people from buying a terrible comic book. I think that's a good thing. It's only one issue, one copy. No problems. Now let's talk about the next topic I wanted to cover, and the next topic I wanted to cover is, of course, Venom issue 150. Now the reason I wanted to cover this is because I'm a big Venom fan. He's at least in my top 5 favorite Spider-Man villains of all time. Love the character of Eddie Brock, love Venom, and I like even newer iterations of him. I think that Agent Venom was a really cool step in the proper direction. really thought that was some cool stuff. I didn't get a chance to read all of it, but I did read a few issues here and there. They were good. Now, the people who wrote issue 150 of Venom are not only moronic, but it was just bad. Bad characterization of Eddie Brock and the symbiote, and just goddamn terrible art. I'm going to throw images up of art right now. One of them, though, the one where it shows the symbiote receding off of Eddie Brock, I think I need to blur that or cut it out of the video entirely, because god dang it, the thing looks like a vagina for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, when someone mentions it, I can't help not think of it. Also, I think there was a panel where it shows Eddie, without the symbiote on and whatnot, and there's like these weird things that... What is this? These are not muscles. That looks like Zoidberg. Who the hell drew this comic? Quite honestly, in my personal opinion, you shouldn't read issue 150 of Venom, Iceman #1. You shouldn't probably be reading any Marvel comic books right now. I mean, I wish that I was joking, but this comic book makes me mad. A lot of what Marvel does makes me mad, but this in particularly, if you haven't vacated this comic book company yet, maybe you should start before the ship continues to sink. The Titanic is sinking, guys. It's going down, 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 and down. On a side note to the Marvel thing, it's a good thing to keep in mind and point out that the reason why so many of their comic books have been failing lately is because the characters that they're trying to get everyone to love and adore aren't really characters. They're one-dimensional cardboard cutouts. They're not people. They're not characters. The dialogue does not help them in any way, shape, or form. They're just bad characters altogether. They're barely characters. They're soapboxes. That's what I'm going to call them from now on. They're soapboxes. Riri Williams, soapbox. She was created solely to be a soapbox. That's her only reason for her existence currently. And it's just another one of Marvel's many symptoms to an already dying comic book company. But I could talk about that for hours. But I wanted to touch on one more, I guess you could say somewhat cancerous situation. And that's what's going on currently, or a potential cancerous situation. Potential. Let's not say it is. Potential. That there's going to be a new series of The Shadow. Oh, a fan favorite comic book to many a cool person. If you've never read a Shadow comic book or heard about the character, well, you should look it up. Go research it. Go find some comics of The Shadow. Because you want to talk about a character that is about vengeance and is cool. This guy was the inspiration behind Batman, basically. Okay? Or wait, no, I should rephrase that. He's not the inspiration. The creators of Batman literally ripped off The Shadow just to create the character. Let's just be honest. But apparently there's going to be a new run on the book. However, there's a few little tidbits of information that kind of sound a bit on the questionable side, mainly focusing on things like social politics and that he saves a girl from a school shooting, and then he's going to be contending with a fascist regime in the government. Gee, I wonder what they're talking about there. If it wasn't painfully obvious with my sarcasm. Now, I'm not going to judge the book solely on these little tidbits of facts and information. We should, of course, wait to see what comes out. But still, at the same time, hearing this does not inspire confidence in me. I'm very concerned with this book. And, yeah. If it turns out that it's utter shite, I will be more than happy to rip it a new one. Heck, maybe I'll even tear the book in half. Who knows if I buy it? We'll see. But anyway, guys, that's our super recap for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, if you did, don't forget to leave a like, shoot a comment, and hey, you can subscribe for more videos. Links to all the related content is in the description box below if you feel like finding out anything more about these certain situations, or any of the books or information that I'm talking about, well, at least for the trailer anyway, they're down below. Feel free to check them out. And as always, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I'll see you next time. Nightwolf's out. Okay, guys, so I was going to end the video normally where I left off, but I wanted to add a quick little thing to the end of the video, because recently, about a day or so ago, news came out that Adam West passed away, and I wanted to do a quick little, I guess, tribute to some extent, or talk about it a little bit, talk about my thoughts and feelings towards it, and because as far back as I can remember, my first experiences with Batman was with the 60s TV show, and overall, Adam West was very important to pop culture. He's important to me, to a lot of people, not on a personal level, but, you know, he made a lot of influence throughout history. It's sad to see him go, and my heart goes out to the family and friends that lost him, that knew him best, and I just wanted to add this at the end of the video and kind of explain a little bit of how I feel about Adam West as a person. He was a very special person, a very funny guy, very, very cool dude. So he'll be missed, and I don't know. Oh, what I was going to do. I'm sorry, I'm kind of flaking. I have been the last few days, but what I wanted to do was, like, if you guys never had any experiences with Adam West, either as Batman or in any form, I'm certain that a lot of people know who he is. Anybody who watched Fairly Odd Parents, I'm sure they had some fun experiences with him there, or Family Guy. But then, of course, the three things that I wanted to point out was, like, if you're fans of, like, his Batman-related stuff, there's, of course, the TV show that I'm sure you can find somewhere, either on DVD or on a streaming service somewhere. There's a Batman 66 comic book that's been out for a while, published by DC and I think Dynamite, which is a pretty good read. I would recommend that. And lastly, I think that was one of the last things that he did, which was the DC animated film, The Caped Crusader. I haven't had a chance to even watch that. If I have an opportunity to find it somewhere or rent it somewhere, I think that I'm going to actually spend some time and actually go out and watch that film. But yeah, it's kind of just, I know that this is pretty somber news at the end of the video, but still, I thought it was important to add it and include it to the super recap. I was thinking of doing it to one video by itself, but I'm very busy and I don't really have the time to do that this weekend, so maybe somewhere down the road we'll do something like that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.